Hi everybody, and this is the Living Well Counselling Group.
Yes, it is.
I have a question for them, and I think you'll be very interested in hearing it. We formed a group of counsellors. Sometimes it's really hard to do counselling on your own, and so there's a lot of benefit of having a whole team of experts in the room to bounce things off into each other, support each other. But in the whole mix of us coming together, we also wanted to come to the core values, or what do they call that? A motto, a statement, what it is that we really want to hope to put on the tag and live up to.
We spent a lot of time talking about what was important to us, didn't we?
Yes.
We kind of came up with
What are those
three things, wasn't it? It was be heard,
Be heard,
Find hope,
find hope,
begin healing.
and begin healing. I think anybody who is thinking about counsellors, I think those are three key words when you think about what is it that I need. And let's explore that a little bit for everybody else, because the counselling experience is very much captured in those three experiences. How do you unpack that in the counselling room with your clients?
Look, I think as we've talked about, listening and being heard is probably doesn't happen much in our society. People do a lot of talking, but maybe not a lot of listening. And there's a whole internal world that people carry around that they long to be able to bring into view and to process and gain insight about. And so we just feel it's so important to give people an opportunity to bring this out, that we're going to be here to listen and to hear them and to tune into what they're saying, that's our focus. We don't want you to come to us so that you listen to us.
No, we listen.
That's
It's,
right.
it's the safe space again, isn't
That's
it?
right.
It's amazing to me how often it is, as people talk and they hear themselves talk, that they sort out their thoughts and they come to, that they kind of work out, actually I have the answers.
That's right.
All
the
along.
power of
It's amazing.
speaking it out. It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Actually, the power of speaking it out or be heard as one of our key things. I've also found it often with clients too, that when you're there to listen to them and you actually hear them, it's almost like they say, you're the first person who listened to me and believes me and is ready to work with me through these issues. So it's a kind of a walking alongside someone, not by saying, how are you? And it's like, you're already gone before you even hear the answer to it. But no, how are you? How are you? I'm here to listen. I want you to be heard. I'm hearing you. You're not well. Okay, let's talk about that. What's going on?
And I think
What's your experience?
So first of all, I like the analogy that we were created with 2 ears and 1 mouth. So I think what we do as counsellors is create that space where a person can just say whatever they need to say, and we're there just to hear.
Not to judge, just to listen.
Exactly. And then support that person, because I find when they first come, they're searching and they're looking for what the answers might be amongst all the confusion that's happening for them.
Now, Stephen, you mentioned something very important, what they're looking for. So I think we've just talked about the first one, and that is be heard, but hope. The second one is, finding hope. That is probably one of the key things when you say, hey, is there anything at all out there that can help me? It's really about creating hope or providing a way to connect with something. How have you found that in the counselling room?
I find sometimes we have to carry that hope for our client, don't we? We actually hold that hope for them when they find it difficult to carry that for themselves.
Yeah, because they're experiencing a blockage and not knowing how to get through that. And it's like then they start to feel hopeless about it. It's like, well, I don't know what to do here, and they're stuck. And so, as you say, we carry that hope for them, but then also through our listening and interacting, hopefully what comes out of that then is that they start to gain some hope that, oh wow, maybe there's a way through here, maybe there's some answers, maybe there's something good.
My experience is that everyone has the ability to get through the problem they may be facing.
Yes.
But they've kind of gone or reached the limit of their own resources, and they come and see a counsellor to explore other options, to tap into ideas they may have not thought of before, to know that they're not the only one that's been through that. And that is so helpful to hear, that you're not alone, that, you know, there is that support out there for you, and that you're able to get through it.
Yes.
So,
I think that's what you're saying about holding that hope, and that gives hope that there's someone there that helps them through it. The third one, which is, okay, what's the first one again? Just
Be heard.
Second one was
Find
hope.
and the third one,
Begin healing.
begin healing, which is obviously in terms of when you're thinking about, is there anything beyond just finding hope? Can I actually be restored? You know, in a lot of the counselling situations that I've had where, you know, people have gone through some difficult trauma, it's almost like having to rebuild themselves, rebuild their self-esteem, their competency, as well as their capacity,
identity,
all sorts of things to get back out there.
And it is a journey, isn't it? When we were discussing it, we very purposely chose the word begin, understanding that it is a process and a journey, and for some it's going to take longer than others, but you know, we love to be part of that journey towards healing and wholeness.
Absolutely. I think that's our passion, isn't it, really?
Absolutely.
Yes, and we're not making this sort of grandiose promises that come in and we'll have you all fixed up in 5 sessions or 3 sessions. You know, our longing is to, in a sense, establish people on a good journey that they can then continue for themselves, recognising that, you know, people will come in for a situation or an issue, and they gain some help and they gain some movement for themselves, and that's some healing. But at some other point in life, something else emerges, and they might come back for further counselling, and that's okay. That's life. That's how life pans out often. That we're always an unfinished product, aren't we?
We certainly are.
And I think that's a good way to sort of say to everybody listening in is begin that journey.
Yes.
And as we begin it, dealing with all the layers in our life, we add helpful and whole layers. You know, in terms of you cut yourself and you see the layers in the skin, but you'd want it to be healed, and then, you know, the new layers come over the top, and after a while you don't even know it was there. You have a memory, oh, there used to be a scar. And I remember, you know, my kids with the cat and all sorts of other kind of things, and say, oh yeah, the cat scratched me there, and then it's like, oh, it used to be there, and you're really trying to find it because so much time has now gone. They still have the memories, but the healing has happened. So begin healing, hey?
That's right.
And the other thing that I find is when people go through difficult stuff, it actually creates a strength in them. It creates a resilience, and it makes them more empathetic towards others as well. So don't see it as a weakness, see it as a strength. It is difficult to go through that, but once you've been through that, it makes you a stronger person. And it's amazing to see people come through and continue on that journey of life.
I really love that point, Steve, because it's sometimes people talk about recovery, don't they, as if the goal is to get back to what you were before. But in reality, that doesn't happen. But you can move to an even better place, because when you go through all of that crises and issues and stuff, you actually mature out of that and come to a more a healthier place in yourself that you didn't have before the crises emerged.
That's part of your story, doesn't
So
it?
it
strengthens you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So down below, you'll see, you know, tagged along our webpage, and on the webpage, if you go to it, you'll see details for Rowena, for Stephen, for Penny, for Stephen, for myself, and you can contact us and book in a session and say, hey, I want to begin this journey, and tell me more about it. And we'd love to talk to you how that's going to go.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.